Hey folks, how you all doing? So I'm just about to rank the 13 studio albums by the Beatles. Technically there was 12 in the UK, plus there was the Magical Mystery Tour double EP, which was made into an album in the US. So the first side of the album contained the tracks from the UK EP. The second side contained the non-album tracks or standalone singles on the B-side. It is now part of the official catalogue of the Beatles material, so I do class it as an album now. So there's 13 albums. I'm going to rank them from my least favourite to my favourite. There's going to be some surprises in here along the way, and when there are, I will explain why these albums are in the positions they are in. Now, believe you me, my ranking does not coincide with everyone else's, not in the slightest bit. I see albums differently. I don't fall into patterns like a lot of other people do. Say with Ram for McCartney, a lot of people, greatest album ever, blah blah blah, everyone ranks it number one or number two. I wouldn't. It's the same with several of these albums here. So stay tuned till the end. There may be a couple of surprises. Well, there will be more than a couple of surprises. But not to start off with, there isn't, because at number 13 we have 1969's Yellow Submarine. So there's two previously released songs on here. We've got Yellow Submarine and we have All You Need Is Love. The other songs on side A, or the first half, only a Northern Song, All Together Now, Hey Bulldog, It's All Too Much, were previously unused songs which were recorded between 1966 and 1968, which got put on this album. The second half of this album is actually credited to the George Martin Orchestra, and they're all classical bits of music. Don't like this at all, apart from the two songs I mentioned, Yellow Submarine, All You Need Is Love. This one comes in at a pretty low 2 out of 10 for me. Number 12 on my list, another one that's not really a surprise. We're going for Beatles for Sale. This was released in 1964. It's a pretty sloppy collection of covers. Well, half of this is covers. The only cover I actually like on it is Rock and Roll Music. That's okay. The rest are pretty lackluster. All the original tracks on here as well are pretty lackluster and probably wouldn't make B-sides or singles. It's like they've just put together songs that they didn't think were good enough to be on other albums or give away even, and they've just put them to rush out an album for the whole Beatlemania thing. The only original song I do like on here, well, no, I do like the others, but they're pretty bland. The only one I love is I'll Follow the Sun. It's just a throwaway collection of songs, in my opinion. This one comes in at 4 out of 10. Number 11 on my list. This is going to be the first surprise for a lot of people, and we're going for Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Right, so this is a collage of textured sounds, a kaleidoscope of images. There's layer upon layer of instruments, sound effects and vocals, and it's all in all its glory, sound wise, texture wise. It's like a supernova. There's no question about it. It's incredible studio work, studio trickery by the Beatles and George Martin. I'll just move this camera around a little bit just so I can. There you are. But when you actually listen to the songs themselves, pretty much half these songs are pretty weak as far as songs go, in my opinion. Things like Getting Better, Fixing a Hole, For the Benefit of Mr. Kite, Lovely Rita, Good Morning, Good Morning. They're pretty piss poor songs as far as songs go. That's my opinion. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds is pretty good, and that gets by, thankfully, because of the studio trickery of the speeding up and slowing down of John's voice and all the little bits and pieces that are going on with it. Within You Without You just does not belong on the album, in my opinion. It's like a, what shall I say, a turd in a gold mine, for want of a better phrase. It really does stick out like a sore thumb and doesn't belong on this album. to me anyway. A Day in the Life, it's a medley of, I guess, 2 unfinished songs. John didn't have a middle part for the song. Paul brought in one, and that's it. And it works as a whole, but not the 2 individual parts. I don't think they work very well, but that works as a whole. The rest of the album's tracks are still really, really good. So for that and that reason alone, the songs themselves score a 4 out of 10. The studio trickery, the production, gets 10 out of 10. Overall, this scores 6 out of 10 for me. Number 10 on my list, we've got another surprise here. We got 1968. I don't know if you can really see that, the White Album. This album definitely shows the fractures and cracks occurring within the band, and it highlights that throughout the sprawling 91 minutes of ups and downs. It's half chaotic and messy, and the other half is very, very good. This would have made an excellent single album. I know, blah, 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 we've all heard that a million times. Would have been better as a single album. But it does make for an interesting listen in its entirety nonetheless. Tracks like Wild Honey Pie, Obla-Di Obla-Da, Rocky Raccoon, I Hate McCartney's fake American accent in Rocky Raccoon, Don't Pass Me By, Why Don't We Do It in the Road, Long, 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 Good Night are abysmal tracks. Again, probably wouldn't even make it as Beatles B-sides in my opinion. Revolution number 9 is 8 minutes and 22 seconds of what the fuck. So all up, that's 25 minutes that could have been left on the cutting room floor, or left, for B-sides of tracks. Revolution number 9 should have been on one of John's avant-garde albums, etc. And then, Yoko Ono's singing on the continuing story of Bungalow Bill. Apart from that, all the other songs are really good. Back in the USSR, Dear Prudence, Glass Onion, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, Happiness is a Warm Gun, Martha My Dear, I'm So Tired, Blackbird, Piggies, etc., etc., you get it. Birthday, Julia, whatever. Absolutely, half this album is great, the other half is shoddy. So this one comes in at 6 out of 10 also for me. Number 9 on my list, we go to Help. This is the last album of the genuine pop songs, and sort of they'd begun the shift away from Beatlemania with this one. Things like You've Got to Hide Your Love Away, etc. Ticket to Ride, I've Just Seen a Face Yesterday. That's that move away from the whole Beatlemania thing. This album is pretty good. It comes in at 7 out of 10. Well worth the admission price. Number 8 on my list, we go to 1970. Let It Be. A solid collection of songs by 3 individuals, basically, because Ringo doesn't really sing on this one. And you can tell, to me it does sound like 3 individual musicians putting songs together. You can tell John's songs suit his solo career, Paul's suit his, etc., etc. One track that actually doesn't belong on here musically is One After 909. Okay, it was written somewhere between 1957 and 1959 according to John, and I get it. The band's come full circle and they're using something from that early period to show that they've gone back to where they started. I get that, and it's good from that perspective, but as a song it doesn't really fit on the album. I know people whine about the Phil Spector overdubs and the overproduction, but that's the album that was released. That is the album we've known for 50 plus years. So Let It Be Naked is just a curiosity. I don't get it. Everyone knows this album. It's a good album. There's some very good songs on here. Two of Us is an absolute beautiful song which starts off the album. Dig a Pony is sort of weak, but it's okay. Cross the Universe, Masterclass, I'm Your Mind's good from George. Dig It's probably the weakest track on here. Let It Be is just brilliant from Paul. Maggie May is just a little Liverpudlian traditional folk song type thing. I Got a Feeling, brilliant. One After 909, I've mentioned that one. Long and Winding Road, brilliant. For You Blue, another good song. from George, and of course Get It Back. Really, really good album. 7 out of 10. At number 7 on my list, this could be a bit of a surprise for some people. We go to Rubber Soul, 1965. This is the real start. I know Help started the singer-songwriter process of songs away from Beatlemania. This one takes it that one step further. This is almost a folk album at times. Very acoustic, very ballady type songs, real ballady type songs, you know, stories with beginnings, middles and ends. It's an infused folk pop rock album. I think this one's really where they took in what they'd been listening to Bob Dylan, especially songs like In My Life, Norwegian Wood, Nowhere Man. These are just brilliant songs. John's his songwriting peak on this album, in my opinion. Even Run For Your Life, I actually like Run For Your Life. I don't see an issue with that. It's a song. It's not... Yeah, it's a song. Let's just get over it. You know, Wear My Ring Around Your Neck was a song by Elvis, similar sort of thing, you know. Just get over it. It was a bloody song, and it's enjoyable, and everyone liked it at the times, and the woke people nowadays have an issue with it. But yeah, a really, really good album. In fact, I love this album. 8 out of 10. Number 6 on my list, we go to... I couldn't find a couple of our vinyl albums, so I've had to get the CDs where I could. But number 6 on my list, we go to debut album, the one that started it all, is Primal Ragged Rock and Roll, as highlighted by the blistering opening track, I Saw Her Standing There. That should have been a single in the UK, in my opinion. You know, I mean, what were the singles off this album? P.S. I Love You, was it? Please Please Me, Please Please Me, Love Me Do. I Saw Her Standing There would have been a fantastic debut single, in your face on the radio and TV. Great stuff. All the originals on here are absolutely brilliant, as are the selection of covers. It's just a real... It's one of the great debut albums of all time, in my opinion. Things like Anna, Chains, Boys, Baby It's You, Taste of Honey, Twist and Shout. Brilliant, brilliant. I think they're better than the actual original versions of the songs, so that's pretty cool. Plus all the Beatles originals on here, fantastic as well. This album comes in at 8 out of 10 also. Number 5 on my list, and this is going to be another surprise for some people who rank this album at number 1. We go to 69, Abbey Road. A solid album. I do love this album, but it has its faults. I Want You, She's So Heavy, 7 minutes and 47 seconds. To me, it overstays its welcome by at least 4.5 minutes. Maxwell's Silver Hammer is just as bad as Obla Di Obla Da, in my opinion. Things like Mean Mr. Mustard, Polythene Pam, Golden Slumbers, they're half-baked songs. They're not even complete songs. They're little, like, 1.5 minute snippets of songs. They're not real finished songs. They're half-baked ideas. Carry that weight because they have no life outside of the paper mache'd medley, in my opinion. The medley works absolutely brilliant as a pastiche of sound, absolutely brilliant, but as individual songs they don't really work too well. Apart from, I think, you know, Give Me Your Money, She Came In Through the Bathroom Window, probably the only two in that medley that actually work as individual songs. And if you don't believe me, get out your compact disc, or if you've got it on compact disc, that's the best way, and just program each individual song, and you see they just don't seem to go anywhere in that medley except when they form part of this fluid motion. The album does also contain probably my 2 favourite Beatle tracks of all time, Something and Here Comes the Sun. All up, this works excellent as a whole piece of music, I've got to say, but as I said, individually on side 2 some of it just doesn't work. So I've got a score of 6 out of 10 for the individual tracks. I have a score of 10 out of 10 because the medley works as a medley. which overall gives this a score of 8 out of 10. Number 4 on my list, we're going to go for 1964's Hard Day's Night. This is their first album to contain all original Lennon-McCartney tracks. Excellent collection of Fab Four songs. Beatlemania has left the station. Toot toot. Great stuff. 8.5 out of 10. Next up at number 3. This is probably where most people would put it, I'd say. So probably not too much of a surprise. We've got Revolver from 1966. Having stopped touring, concentrating on recordings, the Fab Four have turned their studio into their own private playground and filled it with various toys to play with, and they did this absolutely beautiful on this album. To me, the two songs that bookend the album are the weakest songs on here. Taxman, I get the message George is trying to convey and his anger with the amount of tax they're paying, but it is just an average song overall. And Tomorrow Never Knows, I just never understood that song. I just don't get it. I don't understand the fascination or the love for it. It's just, I don't care for it. The songwriting on this album has elevated another couple of notches here from Rubber Soul, which again is a couple of notches above Help and everything before it. Yeah, stuff like Eleanor Rigby is absolutely brilliant, Here, There and Everywhere. Yellow Submarine, okay, it's a kid's song, but it works. It works, and that's what Ringo brought to the Beatles, not as a songwriter, but as a singer. He was the jovial, happy-go-lucky guy. You know, you got She Said, brilliant. Angel Bird Can Sing, one of the great, underrated Beatles songs of all time. You got For No One, Dr. Robert is probably a bit weak. Got to Get You Into My Life, I call that the first Wings song, and that's what it is to me. 8.5 out of 10 from me. Heading to the 2 top albums. Obviously Beatle fans are going to know what's coming up, what hasn't been done. Number 2, I have this sophomore album. Brilliant collection of covers and originals on here. The production is slick. If you listen to Please Please Me and then this, the production's slightly slicker on this album. I think George Martin finally worked out what you need, because he was a novelty producer and a classical producer prior to the Beatles, so I think he worked out how to improve the sound of Please Please Me with this album, and it's top notch. I mean, this is the big bang of Beatlemania. They're boarding the train at this stage to the mayhem and fame and everything that was about to follow. I mean, some great songs on here. It Won't Be Long, All My Lovin', Don't Bother Me, which is a great George Harrison song. I know George didn't think much of it, and in hindsight, Little Child's brilliant. I Want to Be Your Man, Not a Second Time. Great covers on here as well. Please Mr. Postman. Where are the other ones? Roll Over Beethoven, which is great as well. You Really Got a Hold on Me. I mean, that's as good, if not better, than Smokey Robinson's version, in my opinion. Devil in Our Heart, and of course Money. Brilliant album. My second favourite Beatles album of all time. And that only leaves one album. Number 1, Magical Mystery Tour, which is now counted as part of the Beatles' official albums in their catalogue. Originally, as I said, originally a double EP in the UK. So on one side of this, they released the album because EPs weren't selling in the US at this stage, and they wanted to release those songs, so they put them on one side of the album, and then they put the standalone songs, standalone singles from late 66, 67 on the B side. Absolute masterpiece of an album. Just for the strength of the songs alone, I'll take this over any of their albums, and it's absolutely far superior to Sgt. Pepper's, in my opinion. Their finest album by a long shot, and yeah, just one of the greatest albums of all time, in my opinion. This one comes in at 9.5 out of 10. So there you go, folks. That's my look at the 13 Beatle albums, studio albums. I'm sure there's some surprises and WTF moments for you and eyebrows in moments, but I hope I explained why I put things like Sgt. Pepper's The White Album, Abbey Road, where I put them. You may not understand it, but at least you'll get a sense of where I'm coming from with those albums. Anyway, guys, leave your comments in the comments section below. What's your rankings? What's your favourite Beatles albums? Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay safe, take care. All for now. Catch you around, and bye, folks.